Hey everyone, it's Five. We're checking out Tank Game. This is a game I've not played before. We're gonna give it a shot here, see if I can give some feedback. I am on a new PC. I haven't made any videos for a while, so the whole setup is work in progress. Hopefully it doesn't sound too bad, but if it sounds a little worse than usual or whatever, then that's why. But let's go ahead and give this game a shot. I think I've not seen anything past the screen. I'm assuming we are in... Yeah, we're in Bordeaux's window mode. Always the first thing I look for is an option to use exclusive full screen, which I don't see here. We have a full screen mode. But yeah, that'd be a nice thing to have. We got an FPS limit, we got show FPS, VSync is off, MSAA, and TAA. Now, why would you use both TAA and MSAA? I don't really... Is this just like if I turn that off, does it go to MSAA? I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it on where it was, I guess. I don't know. UI scale, I guess, is this number all the way over here. I don't know. Clicking on this doesn't seem to... Oh, it's because auto scales. It looks like I can just click anywhere in this bar to turn these on and off. I don't know if I like that, but not important. Debanding. What the heck? I don't know what that is. That's for... Wait. Banding would be like... If you have gradients, I think. Something like that. Color gradients, and it would help reduce the banding in the gradients or something like that. I don't know. It's something like that anyways. Controls here. Okay, we got sensitivity. I'll probably have to use that. Revert steering when reversing. Oh, that's a selector. Oh, keybinds are here. That's probably important. Forward, backward, left, right. Free look is C. Fire main gun, fire coaxial gun, fire secondary gun, repair. Oh, self-destruct is J. Toggle gun sights, toggle gun zoom. Alright, let's see if we can get into the game here. I guess we click on select mission. This looks kind of weird. Okay, tutorial is just some text, I guess. Click on the selected mission to change it. What's the selected mission? This? So I guess there's only one thing. Humanoid aliens. Okay, so we have to play the tutorial to unlock level 1. I don't know, I guess that's whatever this box is for is not implemented yet or whatever. This is obviously a work in progress, but I guess we click on start. Welcome to the training simulation. Learn how to operate your tank and how to properly engage Cancri armor. Left mouse button to proceed. Move the tank's hull with WSD. Aim the turret with the mouse. Hold C to look around freely without moving the turret. Left mouse button. You can skip this tutorial from the pause menu at any time. Alright. So this is obviously very early in development, but oh. Wait, oh, I know what happened. Okay, so I got one of these fancy keyboard, the Hall effect keyboards, and some of the input options can allow the keyboard to behave a little bit differently. So sometimes every once in a while it throws me off because I don't realize I let off the key ever so slightly, and it like stops doing the input and that kind of thing. But anyways, so yeah, for tutorials for like a future version of the game, it's nice if you can tutorialize instead of just telling the player what they can do beforehand. If you give them like a moment to actually do the actions, perform out the actions before they go on and all those things. But in this case, we only got like 3. It only told me like 3 things, so it's like not so hard to remember, I guess. Hopefully. Frame rate, okay, it says we're getting 500 FPS. It doesn't feel that smooth though. This does not look smooth to me. Like, are you sure? Is VSync on? No, I think I see screen tearing. Because I have a high refresh rate monitor, so this doesn't look like it's doing any more than like 60 hertz to my eye. Whereas my monitor goes up to 165 and it doesn't look as smooth as I'm used to, so something's going on there. Even though it says we're getting 500, let's go ahead and let's see what happened. Oop. Oh, I can't type into here. Maybe it's just, I guess this doesn't. Oh, okay. We can do this. All right, yeah, these options are not really sufficient. So again, my monitor is 165 hertz, and there's some benefit to setting it like one or two or even three below your monitor's maximum refresh rate, because you can get some a little bit of latency reduction by doing this kind of thing. So if I could type this in as I expect to, I probably would have typed in like 163, you know, for example, but we don't even have, like, I can't even do 165 by the options that I've been given here, so that kind of stinks. I don't know, what should I do? Try setting it 180. I mean, still, this is not smooth at all. So I don't know what's going on with that. Is this smoother at 120? I think it might be. This could be placebo at this point if I'm... Yeah, I don't know. Still doesn't look like 120 hertz to me. I mean, it's very playable, but I think there's definitely something going on there, so it might be worth investigating. I do have to change this. Yeah, this is... not that great, but... Oh, so the turret's like very slow compared to your mouse, and you can kind of get in these situations where it's like it keeps going back and forth because you're like right behind there. So I don't know, maybe that's just something you have to keep in mind as a player. You're trying to aim, that you don't like keep going, you don't keep crossing this boundary, because the turret will just never get around to, to aiming properly. Oh, okay, so I have to keep track of the front of which way is forward on my vehicle here. The tank feels quite fast, which is interesting. I guess those are arrows. I feel like I want to see the control. Wow, this is a lot different looking in the game here. This is like way bigger. I want to see the controls though. We've got free look, fire main gun. Maybe it'll tell me some more during our tutorial here. I guess that's just vegetation. It says V is toggle toggle sights. Alright. Definitely is a little bit more laborious to move this around, because you have to like keep moving the mouse. The mouse behaves very differently in that mode compared to this. For here it's like you can just do a little movement and then wait for it, but here it's like you have to keep moving the mouse continually. You have to move it quite a lot more too, but oh, your tank cannot cross map boundaries unlike enemy units. Okay, interesting. Oh, the collision's a little bit closer than I expected. Oh, should I... I think I should use this. So I think my brain's gonna appreciate it if I do that. This is one of those things where it's like there's certain situations where your brain wants to do it one way and there's situations where they want to do it the other way. We're getting airborne here. I don't know what all these markers sticking out over the walls are. There's some dummy targets ahead. Hitting a tank doesn't mean much. The shell needs to penetrate and damage something important like a crewman or stowed ammo. So we've got left and right. On the right we have different colors, which must indicate, are they armor or are they like, these are things you, oh, okay. Thicker armor is harder to penetrate. Shooting at thinner armor will guarantee penetration. Okay. Shooting external components won't kill the tank, but cripple its mobility or firepower. Red marker over the left tank indicates it is an objective and still alive. Fire with left mouse button, zoom with right mouse button, toggle the sight's camera using V. Yeah, so again, like, what I'd like to see is when it tells me like I can do something with a certain input, I want that to be like in the context of the gameplay still. So like not before it throws me back into the gameplay. So it can say, you know, press this to zoom in, and then I can just do that immediately, and then I can move on to the next thing, that kind of stuff. That just works out a little bit better for the idea of teaching players. So here's what I'm wondering. So it's telling me about the armor thickness with this nice little sort of three-dimensional illustration, I guess. Gosh, I don't know about this. But it does, like, I haven't been given an indication. Like, it says you're supposed to shoot certain things inside the tank, but I don't know where those things are inside the tank. Like, am I just supposed to know that? Like, the crew goes here and whatever else it was, the ammo or the fuel or whatever. Like, I don't know where those things are, so. Oh, it accelerates quite quickly, but only in the forward direction. All right, the red, okay, that's the red thing that I was talking about, is this right here, I guess. It's quite above it. I feel like that could be a little bit more obvious. I mean, it's dead. I just shot it in the middle vaguely. There's not really any indication. That icon went away. It's just supposedly shooting it in different areas has different effects, right? But I'm not getting any kind of feedback that's suggesting that anything different is happening, shooting one part of it versus another. So, like, I don't know what to do with that. You know, like how am I supposed to you know, play the game better or worse if I can't really get any sort of indication that I should do this versus I should do that. There's just sort of a vague idea of that going on so far. I don't know if side shots are the most reliable way to knock out a tank. The armor is thin and it's easy to hit critical components. Rear armor is also thin, but the shell won't easily pierce through the tank's engine. So I guess the engine is in the back. The impact angle affects penetration, so try hitting the armor perpendicularly. This one is called the Snipper. It's a light tank, so don't worry too much about aiming, just get shots on target. Alright, so I think I might have heard something that sounded like a ricochet or something in there. So I don't know if there's some attempt at using sound design to give some more feedback here. But yeah, I definitely feel like I would benefit a lot from a lot more information being fed back to me with regards to these systems if they're meant to be I mean, it's in the game, it must be important. So yeah, I don't know, I mean, just in general, I think it's just a good idea to just give the player as much information to work with as they can. So if that means just saying, like, you know, throwing up text on the screen saying like the shot ricocheted, or there was this much penetration, or there was this much total damage dealt, or there was, you know, damage dealt to this or that. You don't necessarily always want that kind of thing in a game, and in terms of maybe you want it to feel more organic or whatever, but in terms of this being functional as stuff I can interact with as a player, I need to have some idea of what's happening, and I'm not getting that so far. Like, the concepts make sense on paper, but I'm not really seeing what's happening in the practical application of it. So somehow you got to get some of this stuff across to the player, I think. Now, it mentioned like I can infer a little bit from what the text said. It's like the back armor isn't very armored, but you're not going to get shots through the engine, so that suggests that the engine is in the back of the tank. But again, like, I don't know where this stuff is supposed to be in the tank. Like, I don't know. I know that there are people who are, you know, into tanks or whatever, who are gonna know some of this stuff in terms of where it would be in the real world, but obviously that would be a rather small subset of people. A horseshoe is a medium tank. It's a higher armor, but the flat plates are still weak points. And I don't know, from this distance it's a little harder to tell, I guess, like which parts are more or less angled. I don't know if that's something that would matter very much. I guess this middle part is showing this as green. So also, like, I like the idea of this, where it's like you're definitely showing the player some stuff about the armor distribution, but my concern is that I assume I'm only going to see this during this tutorial, and then I'm never going to see this again, so I can't really memorize this. I mean, me personally, I can't really memorize the way that this looks just from seeing it once or twice in the tutorial. You know, the little, I mean, like, this part is red and the part right next to it is green. Like, this it's quite fine in the details here. Also, apparently different tanks have different distribution, so I need to be able to, like, recognize that this tank is not that tank, then this tank has different, armor layout here. So I have to memorize all the different tanks and their armor layout, I guess. But, like, am I ever going to see these diagram tanks again? I don't know. So that makes me wonder. It's a little bit annoying, like, if I'm still turning the turret and then I hit the V, that it just kind of, like, instantly locks to the center of where the turret is at the moment. Which I kind of understand, because the way that this view mode works, you're not really, it's not designed in such a way that you can have the mouse position reticle here that far off from the center, but it's just from a practical sense, I don't really like the way where it just kind of stops you in the center and then I have to start aiming again. I wonder if there's some way you can make that, like, adjust the way that this works so that it would let you do this. I don't know. I guess it's a little bit of a tricky thing to work out, but hold on. This thing is dead, right? So is this gonna, yeah, I thought that was gonna tell me more here. Horseshoe B is an up-armored version. It's protected by side skirts, which you'll have to destroy before being able to hit side armor. Alternatively, the driver's viewport is a weak spot. That part actually can like visibly see it damage something. This is quite loud. I hope it's not like awful in the capture. I actually have no idea what it sounds like, so I apologize if it sounds ridiculous in the capture. It's you know, everyone has their audio different levels in their game projects, and I play these blind, so it's hard to adjust for this kind of thing. I don't know. Hopefully it's okay. Is this thing gonna die though? Like if I... I can see that thing bouncing off, and it does sound different. Sometimes it has the sound which I could possibly just describe as like a ricochet sound, maybe. But okay, so my guess is that the sound means that the shot isn't penetrating, which I guess was what it was saying. Is, I mean, obviously that's not what you want, but it does seem like it more often than not makes that sound. Truck is unarmored and unarmed, easily killed by shooting with a coaxial machine gun. Space. Hitting the fuel tank will disable the truck immediately. Okay, so that's I can kind of see what I believe to be the fuel tank. But immobile and unarmed vehicles are considered killed, so shooting out the tires is enough. Oh, okay, interesting. A little bit herky-jerky hitting the wall there. Your tank's basically unarmored. Instead, it's protected by an energy shield that goes down after taking enough damage. It will start recharging after a few moments. Strengths are its mobility and modularity. You will unlock new guns as you complete levels, destroy it, and get a feel for the shield's durability. Alright, so this is apparently my own tank. So is that when the shield goes down? Okay. So it can take 3 of these shots. I forgot about this. Pew! You can shoot quite fast. Wait, what? Go this way. What's that? Damage! When your shield is down, enemy shells can destroy your components. Okay, engine, left tread, tread wheel, right tread, 20mm autocannon, coaxial gun, R. Repair your tank by pressing R and completing the minigame. Okay. Input repair request WASD or arrow. So, oops. Good job, me. So, oof, okay. This has a little bit of frustration potential, I feel, because like it's not hard, but if you're feeling stressed and like you have to do it quickly, then it's easy to make a mistake and then you have to start the whole thing all over again. Like I'm not... let's just say I can imagine... Oh, you can't reverse very quickly. You don't need to repair. Okay. But yeah, I can definitely imagine somebody being in a situation where they're like, oh crap, and I have to repair super fast, and then, like, especially if you get towards the end and then you hit the wrong input and then you have to start all over from the beginning again. I could definitely imagine that being very frustrating if there is a situation where it's, you know, stressful and you have to try and do it as quickly as possible, that kind of thing. If you're in like a safe spot or whatever, then it's not so much a big deal. But yeah, I would like, it makes sense the way it's implemented, but I would worry about that. Are we really shooting at people with the tank? All right, they get mowed down pretty easy. Oh, now it's telling me they're infantrymen. Well, they were. Stop your shield from regenerating. They seem to do quite a bit to my shield. Kill them or move on. I don't know. My shield was down to like 20-30% there. These are very weird looking aliens. Destroying buildings. Buildings are destroyed when their parts are damaged enough. In the case of this square garrison, destroying 2 walls is enough to bring down the rest. It's really loud. I'm gonna... Let me turn my volume down here. So that's it, right? Oh, yeah, it just kind of pops the walls out. Alright. Pressing J and completing a minigame, you can overload the reactor to cause an explosion which will destroy your tank and everything around it. But why? Use this as a last resort or if you want to skip optional objectives. Kill yourself to end the tutorial. Okay. No. Interesting. We have to type? What? I typed it wrong? Do I have to do spacebar? I have to do spacebar. Oh my gosh. Also, I mean, let me talk before I type this in. I can imagine that most people playing the game probably know how to type, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a big deal. You're not trying to do this as fast as possible, probably, right? I don't know why it is the way it is, but... Oh, and you can... Okay. That's interesting. Interesting. Oh, watch replay, really? Oh, that's cool. Can I... Does this work? Maybe it doesn't work. Oh, can I... Is there a way out? Okay. Quit main. Let's go to main. Alright. I'm going to pause this briefly, but you won't see a pause because the capture is paused. Alright, I'm back. So, yeah, we're going to keep going with this, but what I'm thinking about here is this whole system with hitting the armor and everything and trying to achieve the armor penetration. I wonder if I'll have to play the game more to really get a grasp of it, obviously, but what I'm wondering is if it might be like a little too detailed and maybe not very gamified in a sense. So what I'm thinking is, first of all, for the player themselves, kind of mentally, they have to really learn a lot of detail about the way the armor is laid out, and it's a bit of a hurdle to overcome. I kind of already mentioned this already, but that's part of it, versus, like, you know, imagining the way that you have it versus something that would be more simplified, I guess is what I'm thinking. So, like, you know, to say something very simplified, you could say like the entire front of the tank has, you know, this much armor, and the entire side of the tank is that much armor. That would be like a very simplified version, you know, to kind of express the extreme, I guess you could say. That would be a lot easier for a player to understand mentally, first of all, like to learn that. And the other thing is, like, I'm wondering if you really have as much fineness of aiming the weapon and everything, because there's like a lot of, like, you know, in some cases the difference between like hitting right here and hitting right here can be pretty dramatic, it seems. So it's like, I wonder if in the actual game, if you have enough fineness to your aiming, excuse me, to really be able to, you know, deal with all those little changes in how the armor and the angle and everything is going to affect things. Because if you can't really aim that accurately to, you know, make decisions about those things, then it kind of doesn't really work in a sense. Whereas again, in the super simplified model, then those kind of problems don't really happen. So I wonder if the way the armor is being modeled and everything is going to end up being a little bit too complex or not. That's kind of what's going through my head here, so I can't really say, you know, one way or the other, but I do wonder if it might benefit from being a little simpler than it is. I guess I just go after anything that has red over it. Is that, wait, did I not read stuff? I'm gonna go back to the menu. Oh yeah, okay. Small valley surrounded by endless sand. Low intensity yet crucial flank. Okay. 3 protected camps. Small infantry presence. You doubt the tanks will be refueled, so they'll be sitting ducks. Take out all 3 tanks. Take out all 3 enemy barracks. But there's also, didn't we get like a different gun or something for completing the tutorial? Oh, okay. How do we use the chain gun? Oh, spacebar. Wait. What, did we have this in the tutorial? Is that what? Optimized. I also, like, is this better armored if we don't use that? Because it doesn't give any indication that would be the case, so. Oh, escape doesn't. Uh-oh. Okay, double click. Yeah, I want to. It's my opinion that for a PC game, like, anytime you're in a menu, that the escape key should function as like a back button, if you know what I mean. So that would be, in my opinion, a nice change to have here. That does. We also, I guess you're saying double click to confirm the selection. I would have it so you click on one and then have like a button you click on. Maybe maybe have somewhere on here indicated what's currently equipped, right? Like somewhere else, I don't know where. Somewhere you see like this is what is equipped currently, and then you click on one of these, then you can click the equip button, and then where it indicates that would change, and then you could click on back. Or, you know, if I hit escape, then that would go back. But that would, in my opinion, I think that would cover the basis with making this clear, so that you're you're not getting, for example, like you don't want the player to go in here and click on this and then go back and then like realize they didn't actually equip it, right? So that would be a way to do that, I think. Hopefully that makes sense. But so I want to know, this means that we don't, it is shooting this with space. 20mm autocannon and coax. So I guess the coaxial is just in addition to the autocannon. I guess I woke those guys up so they're shooting at me. They're very far away, which is interesting to know that enemies can see and shoot you from that far away, even though they can't apparently reach me. Oh, even those guys are shooting at me. They really are far away. Interesting. Very far away. Go back to the menu. I want to... Oh, we have vehicles we can select. Do that. Oh, but how does that... Okay, well, that's very loud. Interesting. So it's not on the turret. Okay, I don't think we have any ammo or anything, but I'm going to restart this. Alright, I guess we just drive up and start shooting. I don't know what else to do to be more intelligent about this. Can I just like run? Yeah, how about that? A little bit of a hang up there. Yeah, see, they already took out my shield here. Ooh, that thing is very... Oh, I think it... I'm not feeling like I'm interacting with the little the little details of the armor here so far, at least not at that range, and trying to keep mobile with the restricted aiming. Like I can't do like a, you know, like in an FPS game where I do like a really quick snap aim, I guess, to hit like a really small target. So I don't. That wasn't very good. So I'm dead. Okay. Yeah, so I mean the infantry do a lot of damage, I think, even though it said, like in the tutorial, the way it was written, it was like you could kind of just shrug off whatever the infantry are doing, but I don't think that's really true. I think you should probably definitely get rid of the infantry, and probably sooner rather than later, just because they are so easy to shoot down. Oh no. Yeah, look, my shield's at 24%. That's pretty significant. Can I kill this wall? Oh gosh. Yeah. Alright, can I... No, I can't drive over that. I was wondering if the geometry would be forgiving or something and let me just like drive right over that. It might be nice. I mean, if I can destroy walls like this, I think it would make sense to be able to like open up a way I could actually drive in at least. I'm guessing this won't. I don't know, man. I gotta... I'm just wailing on it, I don't really know how to achieve the armor penetration here, I guess. You shoot it in the butt or something, but... So I think it's gone. So yeah, if you get closer, I mean, it makes more sense to kind of... I'm still, like, I don't really, I didn't memorize where all the strong and weak points were, you know. But yeah, I mean, shooting it in the back is or from the back sounds like a good idea. But yeah, especially when I'm further away, I mean, between me trying to move constantly, the fact that the turret is slow to aim, and the fact that there's also the bullet drop and everything, I don't really get the sense that, like, you know, just hitting a small target like that, like am I really interacting with the with all these different armor values and stuff in a meaningful way. They just kind of fly off. There's like an entrance over here. Well, I thought those weren't gonna be fueled up. Oh, I guess they... Not fueled up meaning that they don't move, right? I guess I got a lucky shot. Oh my gosh, my guns are slow. I gotta get my head around the rate at which my guns are able to aim here. It's also weird because the coaxial gun aims so differently. It's hard to wrap my brain around that too. Yeah, I just kind of... I don't know which thing killed me. That would also be a nice thing to have a little more clarity about, because knowing whether I died from getting hit by the tank or getting the plink damage from the infantry, I think would be helpful, because the tank, like, I can dodge the fire from the tank, right? By being mindful of that, but the infantry are just kind of spamming shots that I assume are, like, just hit scan or something. Like, I don't think I can avoid those aside from dealing with sight lines, right? Which, by the way, can be kind of a problem. Like, that's also, like, it's kind of a funny comparison to make, but that was like a bit of a problem in the game Doom, the original Doom, where the basic enemies, the what were they? The pig demon guys. They have the hit scan weapons, which you can't dodge, and like almost every other enemy in the game fires projectiles that you can dodge in Doom. And it can be a little bit of an issue, because if you can't dodge the attacks, then it's like you can't really avoid taking any damage, and the only way to really avoid it is to just kind of kill the enemies before they do much, right? Which kind of works in Doom, because those first enemies you meet are so weak that you can usually just kind of wipe them out, and then the problem is out of the way. But there's certain situations, like if you don't design the levels right and there's just too many of them around you or something, you just can't do anything about it, and then you kind of just get killed. So that's, you know, that can be a problem in this game too, if you're not careful about how you deal with these kind of infantry enemies, because they're just spitting out all this damage. And for me as the player, I guess the option I have is to just kind of try and kill all the infantry first, which is probably what I'm going to do. But that's something to keep in mind. I don't know if there's a simple solution to that kind of thing, but it can definitely be a problem. So I mean, it's kind of... My gosh, I already got... Yeah, so for one thing, I think you could do to... I think it'd be helpful to reduce just the amount of damage that they do in the first place, because those guys just wiped out my shield so fast. And I need to get used to how my aiming works, because it's very slow and I'm trying to play a little bit faster than I really can. This coaxial thing I should just stop thinking about so much, because it's very particular about how I can aim it, I guess. And I could probably, like, snipe stuff from really far away, I would imagine, which is probably not very much... I mean, it's fun, but I don't think it'd be fun for long if you can, like, cheese all the levels like this, you know what I mean? I like how I can hear him. It's kind of silly, the idea of shooting a person in the chest with a cannon on a tank like this. But I did notice that the shots don't 100% line up with your reticle here. Just the way it is. I can't tell if my shots are hitting because I have to dodge his... I think that one hit, but didn't penetrate, so... I don't know, I'm just trying to shoot it. Let's go back to making sure the infantry are taken care of. That'll help. Come on, turn around. Turn around. Oh, that thing, what? That thing's alive. Hold up. Didn't I kill a tank over there? 2 out of 3. I don't know, I guess I just didn't have the awareness to realize that there was a tank over there that was still alive. And, I mean, I know you have these big red things that's supposed to indicate stuff, but I think it could be easy to... It could be easy to possibly, like, if you destroy or disable a vehicle, it doesn't, like, the whole thing doesn't blow up, right? You can still kind of see it there. So visually it might be easy for the player to make a mistake and not realize that something there was like a living tank that was able to kill them, you know. Might be easier to tell if they actually are fueled up and moving around, I don't know, but something to think about, I guess. Is it working? Well, it seems like he's getting the better of me, because I don't think I have much for armor. And yeah, I think those icon things that are floating up above may be a little bit better in terms of, you know, showing there's a tank that's alive over there and stuff like that. It could be a little easier to miss those than I would like. Oh, I guess that was the last target. I didn't have to kill all the infantry in there. Ah, micro rockets, hull weapon. Okay. Is this gonna work now? Oh, it does work. Look at me. Ha! This is cute. I like this. I wish you could like move the camera around though. You've got three-dimensional stuff going on here. I feel like I should be able to pan around the camera. That's cute though. Escape. All right, we've got oh, I don't know if I want that. I feel like I use the autocannon more for just hitting infantry or something. Maybe that's wrong, but I don't know. Maybe it's good for shooting armor with this one. Well, might as well use it because I unlocked it. So, land sword micro rockets. Decent penetration, a small area of effect and high rate of fire, slows down the tank slightly, replenishes one rocket every 6 seconds. Why not? Convoy inbound from the east, half a minute. Blow up all the trucks before they can make it out of the area. So we have like a time limit? All right, here we go. Whoa. Well, I can't see what, I guess I got him. I can't see past this cannon. Where do I go now? Over here? Wait, convoy inbound. Oh, the convoy isn't here yet. Destroy buildings 1 out of 1. That's the secondary. Is this a different cannon? Because the explosion from shooting this is like it kind of covers the screen in a way that's... Alright, you guys gotta get the hell out of here. I can't even shoot these guys down. How do you shoot the rockets? How do you shoot the rockets? Middle mouse button. Whoa, there's a tank there. What the? Oh, holy crap. What the frick? There's no cover. I can't even get my turret over here. I don't know what's going on. So like, but well, why is it just like a giant open area with no cover or anything? Because I don't really know what to do. I'm just surrounded by tanks, and then like trying to drive, trying to move so that they have a harder time hitting me. But I don't really know how to fight them without having cover. So what do I do? I was focused on the shooting the infantry. I don't like how that covers the whole screen. So they come from there, right? And then the tanks, I don't know where they came from exactly, but I know I can kind of snipe this from a distance. Are the oh, we still have 12 seconds. So that blew up. They're still shooting at me. I don't think they can hit me from there. But the convoy should be here and now. Oh, there's the tanks. For goodness sake, don't they come from here? I gotta engage those tanks. Is it good to have the high ground? Oh my goodness. Holy cow, they killed me so fast. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. They kill me fast, and it is a little hard to tell, I think, when you're taking damage. I don't think there's like a good audio indicator. Why are they going that way? Yeah, there's not really... Okay. My shields came back. I'm not trying to kill them right now. So yeah, there's not a lot of feedback when you take damage. You can see when your shields go down and stuff, and that's kind of nice, but there's not really any sound or anything, at least not yet, so that's something that would help, I think. Jeez, they really... Die! I guess we'll keep going, even though I screwed up. I did repair, so I guess I'm back up to 100%. Like, there's not, in most games, I guess, when you know, kind of botch part of the level like that, you kind of have residual effects, you know, when you move on from that and, you know, you have less health or you have less ammo or, you know, whatever. And here, at least in the current version of the game, it doesn't seem like that's the case, and I think that's kind of a good thing. It's sort of like in Halo, where you know, things are more moment to moment, but like after you get through that little chunk of game, that encounter, it kind of resets your state, so you're not really dealing with stuff afterwards, and it helps to keep the game flowing, I guess you could say. So I don't have to end up in this situation where it's like, okay, I made it through that last part, but like I'm kind of gimped going into the next one, and it would make me think, you know, maybe I should just restart and go do that part again. But the way it is right now, it's kind of like, oh well, I managed to pull through that part, so I can just keep going with the level, and that's just perfectly fine, and that kind of I prefer the way that feels, I guess I would say. What was that sound? So it's easy to kind of snipe this. Oh. Here comes the stuff. I'm just wailing on it. I don't really have a lot of maneuverability or anything, so I don't know what to do. I'm sure if I keep trying I could like eventually do better, but I don't really have a clear thing I can say, oh, I need to do more of this or I need to do that differently. It's sort of like it just kind of feels weird, you know. Maybe try. I could try to engage the tank from more of a distance. Like, I don't know if I can. Maybe I can dodge more. Maybe they don't dodge as much, but they're really quite mobile. And the fact that there's a bunch of them, they all just kind of drive at me and then start blasting me. I don't know if that's gonna work so great. And I have to actually hit the shots, which is hard when they're moving, unless I get right up to them. So, I don't know. Yeah, so I feel like maybe that's kind of what's missing here for me, is that like I need to have things that I can interact with in a way that will provide you know, clear advantages. Like if I do things a certain way, then I'm going to have the advantages I need and I can optimize my play. Whether that be being able to use cover more, or I don't know, because like if you, for instance, if the turret would aim a lot faster, and this is just hypothetical, if the turret would aim a lot faster, for example, then I could say I could do a lot more with my aim. I mean, I can, even in the current game, I can do more to aim better, but it's like there's an element of when you sort of take some of that control away from the player by making the turret as sluggish as it is, that means then that's something that is less viable for the player to kind of optimize that, because they in a certain sense kind of have less control over the turret, right? Whereas in something like, if you go all the way to the extreme of like an FPS game where it's like your aim is instantaneous, then it's like there's no limit to how much you can optimize your aim, right? And then you can just that can always be something you can do better, right? To do better at the level or whatever you're doing. So there's things like that where it's like you have a lot of these sort of limitations that in a sense kind of take some of the control away from the player, which is perfectly fine in and of itself, but then we need something here that I can sort of optimize somewhere that is, you know, at least more obvious to me, and there might be stuff that I'm missing here, obviously. But yeah, it's just not really clear to me like how, like what is a better way to interact with the level here, especially because it is so kind of wide open and empty. It doesn't really suggest anything. They're not making it easy on me, are they? It's kind of silly. Because yeah, I take damage like that and I get immobilized, and at that point I can either kill the guy and repair, or I can just wait to die, it seems. And he won the race there. But yeah, it's pretty tough, and I'm not really, like I said, I'm just not sure how to optimize my play to do better. I don't know. Well, if I'm missing something there, you can let me know. I don't know. Should I wrap up the video here? I feel like I'm kind of hitting the wall a little bit. I'm sure I could get past this level eventually, but I don't know if I'm gonna end up giving a lot of useful feedback by continuing on like this. But I mean, it's pretty interesting. It definitely feels kind of cool, just the way the tank works and everything, but I feel like I'm not really feeling empowered the way I hope, I guess. Or I'm not feeling empowered the way I'd want to feel, I should say, because the limitations are a little bit hard for me to deal with. It's very difficult to be confident with the aiming when it's a little bit iffy. I mean, you're trying to, you know, turn the tank and move all at the same time as you're trying to handle the aiming, and then you have to wait for the turret to catch up, and it's kind of like, even just doing that is kind of a lot for the brain to work with. And then you're kind of trying to lead your shots a little bit, and then you're trying to, you know, deal with the bullet drop a little bit, but then the fact that like the other guys are moving around so much, all of these things all on top of each other are just kind of a lot to deal with. So it's like even just landing one shot is kind of hard. And I don't know, I feel like I'm not getting a sense of confidence in my abilities with the tank, and obviously there's a skill element there, but I don't it's even kind of hard to see, like, gosh, I can't turn the turret very fast, can I? Why does it feel so slow? Is this buggy or something? I feel like it's turning slower when I hit the V key and go into that mode, and I don't know why. Like, is that imagined or is that real? I don't know, it seems pretty close. It might be slightly slower though. I don't know. And then, like, obviously when I turn left and right, that also kind of turns the turret a little faster. There's just a lot of factors to deal with it just to get one shot on the enemy, and all of that on top of the fact that there are more enemies than me, right? Me by myself here. So I mean, generally you want to the thing that most video games do is they kind of make the player quite, you know, feel quite powerful, and then what they do is the enemies are weaker than the player necessarily, but there's a lot of them, right? And you know, that's kind of the way that they sort of balance out the power dynamic in the game here, whereas right now I don't really feel like I'm that powerful, and at the same time there's like multiple enemies I'm trying to kill, and I don't know, it just feels like it's a little bit out of my control in a sense. But yeah, that's just, you know, a feeling thing. Obviously with more skillful play I could do a little better, but it is a lot to deal with. And in saying all this, I'm also, in the back of my mind, I have this idea that there's supposed to be all of this armor penetration and the different armor gradients, and you know, supposedly there's different parts inside of here that you're supposed to try and hit, and all of these, you know, these little details that were presented at the very beginning of the game, which are just like not even, like, we're not even getting to that point where I'm just trying to get shots on the target, and that's already kind of enough trouble for me with all the current mechanics. So it's like all of these other things that you built in here are just sort of not really happening, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I don't know, I kind of worry about that. Maybe what I would probably do if I was making this, I would probably, and this is just, you know, I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. There's many ways to do it. One possible thing you could do is I would probably just try to make the player tank a little bit stronger in the way of like the aiming and everything. Make that just kind of work a little bit better in the player's favor, so it's just easier to do all that stuff, so I can get more shots on target and all this stuff. I think that would feel better, and then, you know, kind of power up the player a bit more, and that would help maybe the balance a little bit. The enemies are quite strong, it feels, at the moment. They're very mobile and everything. And they do a lot of damage. And then probably try to simplify down all the stuff going on with your simulating your armor and penetration and your critical zones that are supposedly inside of here somewhere. Again, I have never seen any indication of where those are given to me since I started playing, so yeah, I think that's just, there's too much going on in that part where, you know, maybe you put a lot of work into building out those kind of simulations, but the game around it doesn't seem to be interacting with that meaningfully, because I'm not really getting down to that level where I'm making shots that are that accurate. And even if I was, like I said in the beginning, it's kind of like it's a bit much for the player to deal with. I think obviously there's, you know, some players appreciate more of a simulation element and all that, but to me, that's what seems to be going on here, where I'm just not getting to the point where I'm even interacting with those systems, so it's just kind of creating noise at the end of the day, whereas I'm just trying to get shots on target. But yeah, that's what my personal experience has been so far, so maybe that's useful to you. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here, but apart from that, I think it's cool. I actually really like you've got these sort of Halo-esque recharging shields, which is pretty cool. I think, and kind of unexpected, but I think it's a cool idea for this kind of game, and I like the way that feels and everything. So, and yeah, you get different weapons and everything. There's a lot of cool feeling things in here. So, it'll be interesting to see how you kind of flesh it out from here. But let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next video.